Hey guys, Scott here. The DVD servers went down for a while in my last stream, so I thought I would make a tier list because I haven't done one in a long time. Right before I start, though, I'm sponsored by myself today. My new game, This Is Interesting, is out on Steam at the time of this video coming out. It is a kind of roguelike horror, Outer Wilds, Silent Hill-esque type game, combining all those things. And yeah, I just made it for fun and hope you guys enjoy it. I thought I would plug it for myself. Anyway, here is the tier list. Thanks for watching. Screw it. Let's do it. Let's just make a tier list since it's been a while and the servers are down. Do the intro? No intros. I'll do an intro later. All right, I guess let's just go in order. Trapper. Trapper is, I mean, if we have to have someone in D tier, then it's got to be Trapper, right? I can't really think of anyone else that would fit there. Unfortunately. Hey, let's bring up chat too. Yeah, if you have, I'm going to go with no add-ons. This is just blanket statement, no add-ons. So no add-ons, Trapper is D tier. With the, I would say with like Iridescent, with like Eerie Stone and Coil and stuff like that, they actually are like B tier. They're pretty good. Wraith. Wraith is like here to me. Like right there. Like right there. Unfortunately, I'd probably have to say B. As much as I love Wraith. He's like very high B tier for me, but not quite A. Billy is... I wish I had like an A+ or something. I'm going to try to do this without pluses. Really, the only killers I consider S tier are basically Nurse and Blight. The Ghoul is really close, though. It's kind of hard to say. It's like A+ for me. You know what? Well, I'll just put him in A because left to right is going to be actually vital for, you know, like actual placement within the tier. Why isn't he an S? Yeah, he just has too many maps where he gets neutered. There's, what, 5 indoor maps now. Half the new maps they add just keep having more just awkward collision and yeah, he's just, if it was just like the original realms like Macmillan, Autohaven, and Farm, he'd be S tier, I think. But yeah, he's a little too much in terms of map changes over time that just make him weaker, but he's like borderline S tier. But yeah, Nurse, yeah, don't even talk about that one. Myers, I'd say is C tier, especially with the buffs. He's still not very good. Depending on the map, he can be surprisingly decent. And on indoor maps, he's actually very good. But yeah, he's still, unfortunately, his power is just... I've always thought Myers is underrated, and I do think his power is stronger than people give it credit for, because they just think, yeah, okay, he's got a one-shot and stuff like that, and that's fine, but it's not that strong. It's really the combination of going from a 99 to tier 2 into the one-shot that's insanely strong. That's really the strongest point about the killer. And I consider his low tear radius like actually part of the power almost. Like that's actually half of his power is just having a very, very low tear radius. Especially if you put on Dead Rabbit or a Monitor or something like that. That is just... The ability to sneak up on the best player in the game and hit them before they can even move is very, very strong. Technically, they have like a second to react, but it won't matter because you'll just be able to smack them. So, that being said, that's all he's got. Hag. Against solo queue, it's like A tier. I'd say against everyone else, it's probably like B tier. Somewhere in this region. I'll sort them horizontally later, I guess. Hag is very good against solo queue. Like, disgustingly good against solo queue. But against everyone else, it's really not that big of a deal. So... Like, Survivor Friends have no problem with Hag whatsoever. And she really just relies, like, almost solely on like, proxy camping people. That's, like, her whole thing. And if you don't have the coordination to deal with that properly, she can seem very strong. But I think that kind of averages her out. What's the tier list? Just overall killer strength. I haven't made one in a while. Doctor. I, unfortunately, am going to say Doctor is C tier. One of the only things he was kind of decent at was confirming hook stages on people by spamming shock to prevent saves, but they're actually nerfing that. So he really doesn't have that much going for him. Doctor is just kind of shit, unfortunately. He's got good map pressure, or good map knowledge, rather. And his anti-loop is very consistent. His anti-loop is extremely consistent. But during the time of this being made, which is 4/20/2025, by the way, blaze it, MFT is very popular because of Ghoul, so Doctor is just kind of shit right now. Huntress, I would say, is very high B tier. She's sort of got the same Billy syndrome, where she hasn't been made weaker. In fact, she's been made stronger, other than like iridescent head nerfs. But maps over time just every time they make a new map, clutter, inside, just weird tiles, weird structures, no line of sight. Again, if this is 2016, where there's just Macmillan, Autohaven, and Farm, then Huntress would be probably A tier still, because she's still insanely lethal at close range, and she's very good at camping. But nowadays, I think she's fallen off a lot just due to the game changing around her, nothing to do with her in general. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll do horizontal placements later. Bubba is probably like very low B tier in my opinion. Nothing is scarier than a Bubba out in the open, but Windows kind of completely shit on him, and he's just not very scary at all in that scenario. But his ability to pressure and unhook is very, very powerful. His anti-loop is not great, but he has undeniable, very scary ability to pressure unhooks. And so, even though he can't directly face camp people, that's not even the optimal play anyway. So, Bubba can still confirm kills on people very, very easily. But other than that, he doesn't really have too much going for him. But the ability to confirm kills is a very important thing, so that does make him pretty decent. Freddy... It's C or B for me. I didn't play New Freddy that much. But from what I played, he was just very whelming. I don't know. The pallet explosion is kind of okay for zoning when done correctly. The slowdown is kind of whatever. The teleportation to healing people already figured out is just very easy to circumvent by just waking yourself up first. He's like very low B or high C for me. I'm going to put him in low B for now, just because I didn't play him much and I could be underestimating him based on that. Gooey Tufan, thank you for the prime. Appreciate that. Thank you, man. He's definitely not on Bubba's tier. I think he's worse than Bubba. But I'm not having C minuses or B minuses or B pluses and shit, so I have to draw a conclusion here. I'm just gonna stick him in B for now. Pig is probably C. I still think Pig's anti-loop is actually kind of decent. People sleep on People sleep on buffed ambush quite a bit, I think. He has so much pressure. Freddy? Yeah, but he's not very lethal in my opinion. Yeah, especially if you use Last Will and combat traps, I think. Pig is better than Freddy. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Pig is still not very good. I said this is no add-ons. Oh, true, true. Yeah. I guess I'd have to say C tier then. Yeah. I think C tier. Person Doc, we'll get to that later. Clown, I'd say, is probably B tier. His map pressure is pretty shit, but he is undeniably extremely good at anti-loop. Pretty much the best players in the entire game cannot loop a clown for very long. You're on a pretty limited timer versus a good clown. And that's because his chase is just very, very strong. But that's all he's got. He just has nothing else going for him. No map control, no real ability to like snowball in any way. He's just very good at individually downing a single person at a time. So that does push him up a lot, but he's kind of like right in the middle for me. Spirit is definitely A tier. Spirit is extremely good. She's been good for basically ever. She's a bit weaker than she used to be, but is still very, very strong. Extremely add-on dependent though. And honestly, I would say she's like low A tier. If we're talking no add-ons, Spirit is kind of like low A tier. Almost B tier, because Rusty Flute is damn near required on Spirit. And a lot of people don't realize how insanely weak she becomes when she has no add-on reduction, or no cooldown reduction from add-ons. Like, her cooldown is painful without Rusty Flute, for example. But she's still Spirit, so I'm gonna say she's here. Billy A tier. Yeah, it's just over time maps have gotten a bit worse for him. If we're talking about like on a like at one of the original realms, then he's gonna be S tier. But I think there are more maps that are bad for him than are maps that are good for him nowadays. But he's still very high A tier. He's like almost S. He's in a limbo between A and... Yeah, I completely agree, Numi. Like, Numi's a far better Billy than me. And I think that he's like here. But I'm just rounding down for now. Legion. I think Legion is a bit better. A bit better now, but I still think Legion is very weak. Enjoying the servers being down? Sure, yeah. I think Legion's pretty shit. They did buff him a bit, so I'm like... The increased recovery speed is really nice. But other than that, a good team that spreads out, they're going to just shit all over Legion. He just gets destroyed by basic good macro gameplay. I'm going to have to put him in C. Yeah, especially without add-ons too. Yeah. Hey, Red Herring, what's up? Billy Spirit, same tier. Yeah, I don't have A+ or anything like that, so... New behavior tweet? I'm assuming they're just saying that the servers are down. They're working on it. Okay, cool. Plenty of time to finish this. Okay. Plague is pretty damn good. This is really hard to do without like a B+ and an A- type thing. It's really hard to do without that. I feel like Plague would be like here. This is without add-ons, but Plague is not super add-on dependent. Like, yeah, she's got some insane add-ons, but... Plague is, like, right here for me. This one's kind of hard. I'm going to drop her in, the bottom of A for now, but... She is good. Plague is very good. Her ability to confirm kills on people is very solid. Because people are usually going to be injured, and if you kind of proxy camp, no one can really save. And if someone does use a fountain, then you're even scarier proxy camping, so it's... Like, when you're playing Sweaty with Plague, she's pretty damn good. I'll leave her there for now. Ghostface... I feel like Ghostface is the better Myers, basically, but he's still pretty shit. I feel like Ghostface is very high C tier. His anti-loop is awful. The only saving grace is his reveal mechanic is very dysfunctional, but that sometimes hurts him too. He's like top of C or low B for me. Bottom of B or top or C. I don't know. That one's kind of hard. I'm going to put him here for now, but... I don't play much Ghostface too, so like I actually don't have good experience with it. But I never really feel threatened going against the Ghostface like ever, so... We'll leave him there for now. Demogorgon, I'm going to say, is like mid to low B tier, I would say. His anti-loop is actually pretty damn good. His map control was buffed somewhat recently with the portal movement speed. I wouldn't say demo C tier. His anti-loop and free zoning is too strong for him to be C tier. Like, he's certainly not up here or anything, but I think low B tier is pretty fair for him. Because his anti-loop is good. Like, Demogorgon shits on Shaq, like, probably more so than any other killer in the game. He really is good at zoning specific, like, straight line tiles, which is basically all of the default tiles. TL walls, long walls, Shaq, like, any of those things. Demogorgon is very good at dealing with. I'm a little biased because I played a lot of them, but that means I've also seen his potential, and he's actually, like, kind of okay at anti-loop, and his map pressure, especially with the portal buff, is pretty good. I'm keeping him in B. I think that's fair. Oni is one of those low A or high B things for me. I'm curious with the changes to Oni's flick now, what that's going to do to him. Because in my opinion, that actually nerfs the top end Onis. You think he'll be in the same spot? Maybe. I'm going to keep him at the bottom of A for now. But depending on how he ships from the PTB to live, it might change. So that one is kind of variable at the time of making this video. He's receiving a change from the PTB where his flick is becoming unlocked, but also it kind of messes with the sensitivity a lot, so it's kind of harder to control too. I'm not sure. I'm gonna keep him there for now. Oni is he has the scariest power in DBD. It's just good teams will struggle to let you have your power pretty frequently, so. I think Oni gets screwed by maps too much to be A tier. I understand that, but also his snowballing is terrifying. So, I do think he's very good. I'm going to keep him there for now. Deathslinger, I think, is a pretty solid B tier. Very good lethality. A good Deathslinger is going to down you pretty damn quickly, but not much for map control. He's kind of like in the clown section where his anti-loop is very good, especially if you're good at him, but he doesn't really have much for map control. So I feel like he's kind of right around... I don't know, my gut's telling me he's stronger than Clown, because you can kind of pre-drop against Clown and kind of do pallet 50-50s and stay alive for a decent amount of time. A good Deathslinger on any given loop is just gonna kill you. Like, I don't know. He's got to be better than Clown. Probably better than Hag, but that's against... If we're talking about solo queue, Hag will be better. I'm gonna just like drop him here for now. I feel like he's kind of like the same strength as Wraith. You think he's better than Huntress? Oof, I don't know if I agree with that. I think Huntress's ability to proxy camp is disgustingly strong. Like, in an individual chase, I think a Deathslinger will down you quicker than a Huntress will. But I can't deny how insanely strong Huntress's proxy camping is. Like, if you get 1 or 2 people in the basement as Huntress, you just win. There's no way to lose that in this scenario anymore. And Deathslinger can't really do anything like that, so... You can't ever hit over pal, so you can pre-drop. Depends on the loop, though. If you pre-drop against a Deathslinger, and it's like a round loop, a good Deathslinger will know where they can shoot you and drag you around the loop and still hit you. Every comp Huntress game you've ever seen is 2K6. Well, I'm not going off comp, so I'm not going to go off that. I'm going to keep that there for now. Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head, I think, is pretty B tier as well. His anti-loop is pretty decent. His zoning is pretty decent. His ability to tunnel is pretty decent. Overall, he's just kind of just like decent everywhere, I think. I feel like he's not up there with like Plague A tier. I don't know, man. You know what the problem is? I don't see Pyramid Heads like ever anymore. So my opinion of him is just not filled with information anymore. Like, I'm trying to go off of like playing as him and playing against him, both of which I just basically never encounter. So it's kind of hard to say. I feel like I have to crowdsource my opinion on this one. Like, he is good. For sure, he's definitely a good killer, but I feel like he's not... I don't know. He's top of B or low A for me. He's not better than Huntress? I feel like he might be, depending on the map, actually. Because he's pretty good at camping, too. I think Pyramid Head's better than Huntress. I'm gonna put... Shit, this one's hard. I feel like A is too generous. It's so hard. If I hit an A-, I would put him there, but I don't. He's probably gonna end up like here, which I think is fine. I'm just gonna leave him here for now. I don't feel good about Pyramid Head's placement. My gut is telling me he's like the top of B tier, but whatever. Why don't we do A-? Because I wanted to challenge myself to just do it with just plain letters. Blight is S tier. No further questions. Twins, I would say, is borderline S, but very high A. Twins is extremely good. Like, disgustingly good. I would say pretty much like here. Thank God no one plays Twins. But Twins is extremely good. Twins over Billy? I don't know about that. I would say kind of around Billy's strength. But Twins is very, very powerful. Twins are that good? Oh, yeah. If you're ever going to get the good Twins, it feels hopeless. But yeah, I'm not counting the bug right now. I do think Twins is extremely strong. Luckily, no one plays a Twin, so most people might be surprised by that decision. But the Twins is extremely good. What's the trick to Twins? She is just the master of snowballing. She's like better at Oni than snowballing. As long as you've got like one injured person, then it just becomes a nightmare. You basically, it's the only killer in the game you actually want to group up with somebody else with. Every other killer in the game, you want to spread out one to a gen across the map. Twins is the only killer where you actually want to have two people like next to each other at a time. Because her ability to snowball, if she's unchecked, is just unparalleled. Very, very good. Thank God no one plays them, though. Twins is better than Spirit. I think Twins is better than Spirit, yes. I think Twins is, Spirit is extremely add-on reliant and has fallen off a bit over time. Still one of the best killers in the game, by far. But Twins is disgusting. Trickster, I'd say... I feel like Trickster is kind of decent. Again, I always look at the ability to do sweaty things. And his ability to proxy camp is very, very, very strong. Like, main event is pretty much as scary as Bubba, like camping a hook. I feel like he's... Honestly, I just want to put him next to Bubba because they're both good at face camping. I feel like that's fair. I mean, I fucking hate going against Trickster, but I feel like he's just... I feel like just throwing him in the middle there is fine. ABD's back up. That's cool. I still want to keep doing this tier list, though, because it's fun. Nemesis? Low B tier? Eat my ass, he's low B tier. I'm thinking he's, like, very high B tier. Nemesis has one of the strongest anti-loops in the entire game. I played a shit ton of Nemesis for, like, 6 months straight. And I rarely felt even the best survivors I could go against would do much of anything against me. Like, Nemesis actually is pretty fucking good right now. And if you get good zombie RNG on top of that, you have Map Crusher too. Like, yeah, is it a hot take that I think Nemesis is like the bottom of A tier? I found like the entire 6-month period I played Nemesis to be super chill. Like, I was just not struggling almost ever. I think he's, especially like with the recent buffs and Liquor Tongue and everything, is insane. Like, I don't know. Nemesis' anti-loop is disgusting. He is so, so good at anti-loop. Even without Liquor Tongue, you don't even need Liquor Tongue. The hinder is still noticeable. I don't know. I think Nemesis is bottom of A. And yeah, also, he doesn't function half the time. His whip just doesn't animate, which buffs him significantly. I don't know. From all the time I played Nemesis, I think he's extremely strong. I'm putting him bottom of A. What are the parameters of my tier list? Just general gut feelings of the overall strength of killers. This is not very scientific. The only real parameters I'm saying is not comp and no add-ons. That's it. Pinhead. Pinhead, I feel like is a... I feel like he's like here-ish. I'm gonna just close my eyes and let go somewhere. There we go. That's where Pinhead goes. Pinhead is very middle of the pack for me. His passive map pressure is pretty good. His anti-loop is situationally good. Actually, you know what? I'm dropping him a peg because Impaling Wire is super required. So I feel like he's actually probably worse than there. I don't think people realize how required Impaling Wire is. Without that, his anti-loop is just pathetic. Impaling Wire, yeah, it's a purple add-on that makes it so whenever one of your chains is broken by the environment, it spawns another one instead. So it's like a damn near required add-on, it feels like. I feel like bottom of B is fine for him, because he still has really good passive slowdown, and his anti-loop does exist. And forcing medium vaults and things like that can be really good, or slow vaults, rather. Yeah, I can do that later, consumer. Basically a base kit add-on, yeah. But it's not enough. Like, I know that does happen by itself, but Impaling Wire doubles up the effect and makes it actually noticeable. When you place your chains correctly and know when to use it, it's nowhere near as bad. I just find a lot of the time when I'm trying to hit someone with the chains as Pinhead, I have to walk through my own chains to get to the person I just hit. And then I break my own chains, and it's really obnoxious. I know there are ways around that by like going around the other side of the loop, but that wastes more time too. So I don't know. I feel like B tier is fine. Artist, I would say probably used to be A tier, but I'd say she's more like high B tier now. Artist is again one of those killers that basically no one plays. Which probably is a good thing because Artist is pretty boring. Middle of A tier, no fucking way. If anything, she'd be like top of B or bottom of A. There's no way she's middle of A tier. I don't think that Artist is bad. I think she's actually pretty damn good. I played a lot of Artist when she came out. Thought she's stronger than Nemesis? I don't think she is stronger than Nemesis. I think she's slightly weaker than Nemesis. Her map control is really good. She's got great perk synergy, great just base perks in general. Her anti-loop is very solid. But there's a huge problem where she's very weak to people just running in a straight line away from you. Yeah, guys, sure, I agree. I think people massively underestimate Nemesis. Artist lower than Nemesis? Yeah, not because Artist is weak, because Nemesis is very strong. I feel like bottom of A is fine there. I think she's weaker than Nemesis, but stronger than Huntress. It's kind of hard to get a good gauge on it, though, because nobody plays Artist anymore. Like, at all. But I had a really good time playing with her, and I thought she was very strong when I did play her, so. Sadako. Sadako is probably C tier nowadays, right? When Condemned Sadako existed, that obnoxious build, she was definitely much higher, but I'd say she's like high C tier right now. In the event, she's like S tier, but I would say she's like... I'm just gonna plop her right here. She doesn't have much of anything in chase. Yeah, she really doesn't. She's got passive slowdown, though, which is very important. She's an M1 killer with a side quest. Yes, but that I feel like that minimizes her. She's an M1 killer with the most important side quest in the game, because if you don't complete it, you just fucking die. So she has a very important side quest. Dredge is pretty shit as well. He's got map control, and his anti-loop exists, but it's pretty bad. Possible hot take, I think Dredge is C tier. I think Dredge is really bad. Dredge is B now? No, I think Dredge is pretty shit. He's only good on like 5 maps, and he's just shit on like every other map. His map dependency on lockers is brutal. Dredge is worse than Myers? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. His at least he has an anti-loop ability. It's basically a 50-50 anti-loop, but it still exists. I don't think Dredge is worse than Myers. But he's definitely not good. Yeah, it's his map dependency that makes him so bad. If they actually like spawned in additional lockers when Dredge was chosen or something like that, he would be so much better, but Wesker. I think a well-played Wesker is... Is it weird? I think Nemesis is stronger than Wesker by a little tiny bit. Especially since they nerfed his hinder off hook. And his hinder in general, actually. I feel like he's worse than Nemesis now. T100 Wesker here. I think he's below Nemesis. I'm glad we can agree. I feel like he's like right there. Because he's still a great killer for sure. His anti-loop is pretty good. His passive slowdown's really nice, but they did nerf that quite a bit. He used to be like here before all that, I think, but then they nerfed that, so now he's kind of like here. He's still very good. Seeing Plague A tier? Yeah, Plague is a very solid killer. I don't think she's necessarily right next to Spirit. She's probably more like here-ish. I don't know. Most of this later. Yeah, I think that's fair for Wesker. Wesker's stronger than Nemesis 100%. I don't agree. I don't think I agree. I know you can do much cooler shit with Nemesis than... Or, much cooler shit with Wesker than Nemesis, but... I don't know. 99.9% of the time, I'm more scared of a Nemesis than a Wesker. We'll go over all these again, like, at the end. Let me just put some placements first. Knight. I feel like Knight is... I don't play Knight ever. Probably crowdsource this one. My gut's telling me B tier. I just don't know where in B. I would say like mid to low, like here-ish or something. My gut is telling me just like here-ish. This general region. You guys think he's C tier? I don't know, man. His ability to down people is kind of unparalleled in corners of the map, which is very good. Right below demo. See, I think that's fair. I think sticking him at the bottom of B is fair. Let's keep him there for now. Skull Merchant is, as she stands right now, is like fucking almost D tier. Actually, is she D tier? She might be. They did rebuff her, but she's still pretty fucking bad. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to trap her in there, unfortunately. We're gonna have to trap her in there. Not lucky. Put her on D so Trapper isn't alone? Okay. That's fair. Doctor's underrated as fuck. Definitely disagree with that. Larry. Larry is very good. Larry's a very solid killer. I would say Larry is better than Pyramid Head and Nemesis. Honestly, Larry's probably like here for me. He's kind of like the same strength as Plague in my opinion. A good Larry is very, very, very hard to deal with. Especially if they know like great slipstream spawner thing placements for map control and stuff like that. Larry's higher than that. I mean, we're almost at the top, man. I don't know if he's higher than that. He's very close. You think he's a bit better than Plague? That's the question. I don't think he's better than Spirit, but yeah, he might be better than Plague. Yeah, okay. I think I can agree with that. Plague Snowball's better. I don't know, man. Have you seen a slugging Singularity Snowball? It's pretty disgusting. It's pretty disgusting. I think Singularity can snowball just as quickly as Plague can. Even if people are spread out, he can snowball. Like, Plague is going to snowball if people are grouped up quicker, but if people are spread out, Singularity doesn't give a shit. He can just teleport across the map down to one and teleport again, so... Yeah, you just can't get distance on him. No add-on Spirit is worse than no add-on Larry. That is true. If we're getting ahead of ourselves. Like I said, we'll do horizontal placements after this. Let me just get all these done first. Xenomorph is still got good anti-loot, but I feel like he's dropped down a lot. I feel like he's around demo-ish, around demo and night. Low B tier. His anti-loop is still good. I don't think he's C. I think his tail is still good enough to be considered not amongst these killers. Like, these killers have no real anti-loop, any consistency anyway. I mean, like, Doctor does, but it's very slow. I'm gonna just drop him here for now. Chucky is not as bad as people think. I know people want me to drop him in C. I think Chucky right now is, like, more of a low B tier. His anti-loop is actually still pretty decent, especially since they rebuffed him again. Artist level? Fuck no. Not anymore. He used to be. I feel like Chucky is like... Let's drop him here for now. Unknown. I would say Unknown is high B tier. Not quite A, because his power is sometimes kind of easy to avoid. His map control is very, very good. His anti-loop is pretty decent. There's really nothing there's nothing super weak about him. He just is not, like, incredibly strong. I don't think he's above Huntress. Yeah, the teleport is excellent. I don't think he's better than Huntress. I feel like I want to drop him there for now. He's worse than Pinhead? I don't know about that. A good unknown that knows how to hit his shots is pretty fucking scary to go against. Whereas a good Pinhead that knows how to hit every one of their shots, I don't really care as much. Unknown's terrible? I definitely disagree with that. Even if you didn't use any of your... Even if you use any of the actual projectile attack, he still has an instant map-wide teleport. Which is still very, very strong. So, yeah, I don't agree with that. Please reconsider twins. They're easily countered by good players. I don't know about that, man. I'm pretty sure even comp players think that twins is pretty fucking strong. Definitely don't agree with that. Vecna. I think Vecna's underrated, but still not great. I feel like Vecna is like... I feel like Vecna is here-ish. Honestly, a good Vecna with Flight of the Damned, cucking all vaults, then the Mage Hand cucks all pallets, fly to catch up. I feel like he's like the definition of right in the middle. I feel like I'm just going to drop him here for now. The cooldowns are crazy long, but a good Vecna is going to use every cooldown and it will result in a hit. Is this being rated left to right? It is, but I haven't refined that yet. I'm just doing vertical first. Dracula. Dracula is better than Spirit, in my opinion. I think Dracula goes right there. I think he is slightly better than Spirit. I don't know about S tier. Shit, how is he in comparison to Twins, though? I'm not really sure who's better, Twins or Dracula. They're both really fucking good. Yeah, they're really close in strength, I think. I don't know if it's a definitely worse than Twins thing. I feel like he is slightly weaker, but it's not like a definite black and white thing here. I'll keep him there for now. But yeah, his map control, lethality, wolf form, like just everything about Dracula is good. He doesn't have any downsides at all. He doesn't have any insanely broken upside, but he has no weaknesses. They both have different weaknesses and strengths. What is Dracula's weakness? I don't think Dracula has a weakness. He's got a little of everything. Yes, this is no add-ons. No add-ons. The sun. Fair enough. Houndmaster, also very good. Houndmaster, she did recently get nerfed. This one's hard to say because I haven't seen... She just got nerfed. Like, she just got nerfed, like, days ago. So, I haven't seen her enough yet. With the dog vaulting at 0.45, I'd say she was, like, up here. She was, like, pretty good. Probably with that nerf, she's probably, like, bottom now. Right? Probably. We'll refine that in a minute. I'm going to drop it there for now. Ghoul is... Ghoul is, like, here or here. Ghoul's not S tier. Especially with the nerfs. I do not think he's better than Blight. The proxy camping's insane. Yeah, but he can't, like, do that much with it. I mean, he can come back, I guess. I don't know. I think before the nerfs, he was pretty much, like, here. Like, interchangeably right here. But he did get a nerf to his range. He got a nerf to his cooldown upon kicking a pallet. Add-ons got nerfed. 2 of his best add-ons got nerfed. Actually, 3 of his best add-ons got nerfed. I don't even know if he's below Billy. I feel like he's tied or above Billy. This is hard. Yeah, he's not nearly as map dependent as Billy. God, I don't know where to put him in. This is hard. He's either the absolute top of A or the absolute bottom of S. Okay, he's above Nursed. I don't agree with that. I don't know. I actually don't know what to do here. He's above Blight until they nerf his vault speed. I don't think he's above Blight even now. You know what? Let's do a poll in chat. I'm like literally 50-50 split here. A or S? Let's see what chat says. I can't decide. I actually cannot decide. Kai, thanks for the raid. I'm like perfectly split down the middle. I don't know what to say. Check out the poll numbers. The fucking poll is split down the middle too. Oh, it's eking out a little bit in favor of S by a couple of percent. All right. The poll was useless. I'm going with my gut. Top of A. And the reason is I have gone against good players before that have actually made me feel kind of shit. Not even on indoor maps. I've gone against, it's very rare, but there have been a couple of times people have shown me like perfect play against the killer. And I actually was like, oh shit, I'm actually not doing so well. Whereas with Nurse, that simply doesn't exist, and I'm just not good at Blight, so I can't even answer that part. I think, especially with the range nerf and the add-on nerfs and all that stuff, he probably would have been like the just barely an S, but I think he's top of A now. That's a skill issue, though. Okay, whatever. Very close. Ghoul ceiling isn't much higher than his floor. Big disagree. There's a lot of very advanced shit you can do with the Ghoul that people just don't even try. Doing the instant transmission thingies, there's ways to do aerial shit. Like, there's a lot of interesting stuff you can do with Ghoul. But the point is you don't have to still get extremely good results. Yeah, his skill floor is very low, but his skill ceiling is actually pretty high. Okay, now let's go over horizontal placements. These are sort of a no-brainer. Nurse is still the best killer in the game. Just ignores the game. Blight, very close to Ghoul in strength. But he's where he needs to be. Ghoul, yeah, okay. This is fine. I think Billy is... I don't know. Twins or Billy in front? Twins is less map dependent, but Billy is more instantly lethal. It's so hard to say because I know you guys don't go against twins like ever. All right, well, we'll keep that for now. Now twins and Dracula. That's kind of hard too. It's so hard to say because I don't go against twins ever anymore. I sometimes forget how bustedly strong she is. Why are twins so rare? Because they're somewhat difficult to play. Other than that, I don't know. She's insanely good. Drance is better snowball over Dracula? Probably, yeah. Dracula has more options in his kit, but the only option that she has is just better than every option that Dracula has, so. Yeah, I know she's a bug. We're not talking about the bugs. I think that's fine. I think Spirit is weaker than Dracula. Even on Hens' showcase, Dracula did better, so I think that's reinforced even by evidence. I think that's fair. Singularity is very strong and probably is in the right spot here. I think Singularity is slightly stronger than Plague, who is slightly stronger than Oni, who is slightly stronger than Pyramid Head. I do think Nemesis is stronger than Wesker. Houndmaster would have been higher, but she just got nerfed. I feel like Artist is fine there. I don't know if Larry is better than Spirit. Spirit can kind of ignore loops entirely, where Singularity can just brute force them down very quickly and then catch up instantly, but Spirit can just hit you, so. I think all this is pretty fair. Singularity's got better map control, though. Yeah, that's going to come down to what map you're on. Like, if you're on a Wrecker's Yard or, you know, any of the smaller maps, Spirit is going to do better. If you're on a very big map, Singularity is going to do better. So, yeah, at that point, we're just splitting hairs about which map you get. A lot of people are curious about Nemesis A tier. Yeah, sure, I can go over that again. So I played Nemesis for 6 months straight, and it was probably the easiest 6 months I've ever had on Killer. And I know this is a lot of just anecdotal evidence, but I felt like there was not a single player ever that really made me feel like there was nothing I could do in a chase, and very quickly, too. Especially if we start including add-ons in the kit, which you don't even need. His ability to go from tier 0 to tier 2 is especially with all the buffs. I mean, he can do that within 30 seconds of the game starting. And then once you're in tier 2, he's got like one of the strongest anti-loops in the entire game. Pre-drop it, he breaks it, catches up. You don't pre-drop it, he just hits you with tentacle. I mean, like, there's no real good scenarios against a Nemesis. Even if you try to dodge it, I can drag the hitbox of it. It's just like, it's so hard to loop a good Nemesis. It's like damn near impossible. And then on top of that, you got zombies too, which, depending on your perks and add-ons and things like that, can range from kind of useless to bustedly game-slowingly strong. So, even without the zombies, Nemesis would be extremely good. With the zombies, yeah, he's A tier, I think. Yeah, and then the Nemesis tier 3 buff with the whip too. He can whip the entirety of Shack. From the entrance of Shack to the window, he can hit you after you vault. Like, that's insane. Can explain why Plague is better than Oni. The only reason Oni would not be stronger is because Oni against a good team is extremely hard to actually get your power. Once your power is up, he's obviously stronger than almost every killer on this roster, but a good team will keep your power neutered for most of the game. If you go against a very safe pre-dropping pallet team as Oni, you're not going to get your power until you've got 2 gens left. At which point, you're going to start snowballing massively, but yeah, you're always on the back foot with Oni against very good teams. Against solo queue teams, I mean, you're going to get your power quickly, and yeah, you're fine. Can't they do the same to Plague? Not really, because Plague has a fountain by default. It would be like if Oni started with his power in default, then yeah, you'd be fucked. But Plague has a corrupt purge, even if they choose to not heal. So she can still snowball whenever she chooses to. Why not just hide against the Oni during Blood Rage? Because a good Oni will never rage unless you see somebody. One of the dumbest things you can do as Oni is rage without seeing somebody. And if a good Oni sees somebody and they have rage up, that person is going to die. There's pretty much no getting away from a good Oni in his rage. You can delay him a bit, but you're gonna die. I think this is mostly fine. Snowballing after that depends how long the first down takes. You might not have enough juice to go to subsequent downs. Huntress, top of B. I feel like that's still fine. I still think her ability to like proxy camp is just so good. I think Wraith is better than a lot of people give him credit for. My highest win streak ever in my entire 8 years playing this game is on Wraith. Unknown is insanely good. Map control, pretty decent anti-loop. Deathslinger is pretty much the same exact thing. Hag dismantles solo queue teams immensely, but kind of starts struggling against Survive with Friends. Vecna's power used correctly is pretty much a guaranteed hit every time you use the power, but it has long cooldown, so it's kind of weaker because of that. I don't know, Vecna versus Trickster. I don't know. Is Vecna better than Trickster? Probably. I don't know. Good Trickster's anti-loop is pretty gross too. Vecna above Slinger? If he wasn't so limited by cooldowns, I would agree. But he's got some long-ass cooldowns. And again, remember, we're talking about no add-ons. I feel like there's not enough of a difference to really worry about this. I feel like that's fine. Trickster can down the unhooker and the unhooked with power. Yeah, I'm saying Trickster's camping is very good. A good Trickster will down you. A good Vecna can down you. Yeah, but also Vecna is far less map dependent than Trickster. Trickster is pretty much universally the same on every map. Servers are down. They were down. I think they came back up, but I'm just deciding to do this anyway. What tier list is this? Just overall killer strength. That's fine. And I think Clown is right where he needs to be too. His anti-loop is actually one of the best in the game. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah, but it's a terrible idea because it spawns the imps. Yeah, I knew about it. You never knew that? Sorry, random Baldur's Gate 3. Anyway, I think this is fine. Okay, Bubba. Bubba, I'm not sure about. Where do you guys think that Bubba should go? Honestly, I feel like this is kind of okay. I feel like he might be slightly stronger than this. Depending on the map. If you get a bunch of windows, then he's kind of shit. S tier? Okay. Better than Clown. Do you guys think Bubba is better than Clown? Clown's anti-loop is infinitely more consistent. He can down very good players very fast. Bubba can only down people if they're out of resources, which, to be fair, he can remove resources very quickly. But Clown is going to more consistently get the hit. However, Bubba will one-shot you. And also has better camping. I don't know. Clown gets hits at windows. Yeah, but almost every single Bubba in the game's running Bamboozle, so... I think it's too small of a difference to care. Bubba add-ons are crazy. Yeah, but we're talking no add-ons here. Chucky, I think, is fair right about here. Actually, Chucky or Freddy, who's better? Ever since they buffed Chucky again to make the speed curve better, I think his anti-loop is actually still pretty damn good. Freddy's map control is really nice, but I feel like his anti-loop is kind of wussy. Chucky's anti-loop is without a doubt better, but Chucky does not have the map control. However, he does have the stealth. And the stealth is pretty nice too. Freddy's anti-loop isn't that bad. It's just weaker Clown, basically. I think it's, what, a 12% hinder? Freddy stronger? I don't know about this one. I'm probably just going to leave this here because, like, I don't think it's a big enough of a difference to fight over. A lot of Freddy builds depend on add-ons. Yeah. Deathslinger over Wraith. I don't agree. I'm hugely Wraith biased, though. Whatever. That's fine. Demogorgon's fine. I think Knight's placement is okay, too. Xenomorph. This seems all pretty decent. Dredge being in C tier. I know a lot of people... Well, some people disagree with that. I think most people agree Dredge is not a very good killer. Because he just really isn't. Advocating Knight to be higher in B tier. Really? I don't know. I feel like I'm never really threatened overall when I'm going against the Knight. Like, I'm myself, I'm threatened. Because I know if I go into a corner, I'm dead. But I never feel like game-wise losing, I feel super threatened by a Knight. What the? Hey! I will protect you, Emma. Hi, baby. I'm trying to protect you. Okay, whatever. Good Knights can keep 2 people off gens the entire game. Okay, and then the other 2 people just do gens? Like that. Keeping people off gens is... Because, yeah, you send the guard after one and chase another guy. And there's still 2 people doing gens and you're no power chasing the first dude. Like, yeah, that's good for slowing the game down immensely, but that's not particularly incredible for winning. What will make Knight better? I don't know. I think Knight deserves to be lower in B tier. Doesn't matter. Karna just shuts down loops by existing. Yeah, but then as soon as you do that, you're canceling the other guy who's not being pressured, at which point now you're just pressuring one guy again. Like, again, we're talking about B tier here. This is like, Knight is not bad. He's just very average in my opinion. Karna fixed pallet's a free hit. Assuming you drop the pallet on him, a lot of the time against the Knight, you can sort of bait it by, like, stopping at the pallet, wait for him to go into his thing, and then just run away. So that doesn't... It's not consistent. How's Nemesis A tier with no movement? His map control is made up by, zombies. If we're looking at that aspect, just because he can't physically get here, his presence is still felt because zombies. Granted, it's more RNG, but his chase is so strong that he still deserves to be there. You can punish survivors for faking. How so? I'm going to keep Knight here for now because it's my tier list and I can put him where I want. But I'm you know, I'm open to the possibility that he's a couple spaces up here. Like that's fine. Everything else seems fine here. Set a guard down and instantly cancel for no speed loss and a free hit. Is there not an initial slowdown for a tiny bit of time when you do that? And also, can't the survivor just vacuum back into the paladin? I guess it depends how far they run away. I feel like a good survivor can see that's going to happen. But they have to predict it, so. I feel like this is mostly fair. I'm okay with this. Doctor, why is Doctor so low? Doctor is so low, especially right now, because Made for This is very meta, and Made for This completely obliterates Doctor in every single way. It makes him basically useless. Also, Dark Theory is getting a buff, which is going to have roughly the same effect in a certain area, at least. It's not going to be as good as Made for This, but that 3% haste makes Doctor basically pointless. He just doesn't even exist. And other than that, like, yeah, he's consistent at anti-loop. A good Doctor is going to get a hit on a survivor eventually as they inch closer and closer, blocking it, getting closer, shocking, blocking, getting closer, shocking, getting closer. So they are guaranteed a hit at almost every tile. But it takes too long to do it. It just takes too long. Yeah, his anti-loop is extremely consistent. It just takes way too long. Doesn't Made for This only activate when you have endurance? Oh, yeah. Well, usually people combine that with other things like Dead Hard or OTR, things like that, so just in general. But yeah, I mean, that's also true. But Dark Theory will make up for that. You're still going to have the 3% regardless. Is it ignoring add-ons, not accounting for them at all, misrepresenting the killer strength immensely? Yes, to some extent. I agree with that, Darth Cheerios, but as soon as you allowed add-ons into the mix, the tier lists are meaningless. Suddenly it's like, oh wow, fucking Myers is A tier now because he can instantly kill someone. Like, you can't do that. You have to use baseline no add-ons because some add-ons vary so wildly in strength. Like Trapper jumps up to like bottom A tier with double Eerie. Like it becomes impossible to do it correctly. So I think the safest way to do it is just have no add-ons because yeah, some add-ons just drastically alter the strength of killers. But you can bring them every game. I understand that. But again, if I put Trapper in A tier and someone sees a screenshot of this tier list, not knowing it's allowing double Eerie add-ons, they're going to go, wow, Scott's a fucking moron. So I have to just do baseline nothing or people are just going to just say I'm stupid. You know what I mean? Like, that's why. Yeah, if I were to do another tier list with every killer's best add-ons, this would be all jumbled in various ways. Spirit would be way better. Like, there would just be shit all over the place. You'd just throw it in a mixer and shit it back out somewhere. I think Trapper is like top of B tier or bottom A tier with double Eerie. Trapper with double Eerie, if they get someone in the basement, the game is basically over. You can't do anything. There's no saving that. How? Because if you have to go save when you're healthy and you can't enter the shack without breaking a trap, you become injured due to bloody coil and now you can't save, so you're just can't do anything. Oh, for sure, Plorp. Absolutely. You can win 90% of your games with every killer in DBD. But that's less because they're amazing and more because people are just not good at the game. You have to assume a consistent skill level when you make a tier list, so 99 to heal, break trap, and finish the heal. Yeah, that is risky because if you're not at the right spot, he can just hit you in the face before you do the heal. And also, as soon as you break the trap, you have to wait a second and then heal yourself, at which point he can just smack you, so. How can you heal when you're healthy? No, they're saying you're injured. You have a 99. You're injured and you're 99. You break a trap, you're still 99 because it just makes you injured. You're just still injured. But then he just hits you in the face because you broke the trap and he can just swing over it now, so. Anyway, I think this is fine. I think this is okay. I'd say this is... these are my opinions right now. These represent the opinions of Scott Junko. And, yeah, I'd say I'm pretty happy with these so far. Obviously, a couple of little variances here and there for killers I don't see very often or killers I don't go against, but I feel like this is mostly gut feeling, very low scientific study. Good here, so. Yeah, that is my tier list. Are the servers back up yet?